Hey there! Today we are going to learn how to half double crochet into the third loop. This tutorial is specific to working in the round, so if you are looking for just a flat back and forth piece, I will have a tutorial for that later as well. So this technique creates this really pretty braided, almost faux knit look. And it's really simple. It is just a half double crochet. The only difference is where you place your hook. I use this in my raffia basket pattern, and it just adds a little bit of extra interest. Today I'm working with a worsted weight yarn and an H hook. You can use whatever you have on hand or whatever your pattern may call for. If you're newer to crochet, I do recommend trying this with at least a worsted weight yarn, maybe even a chunky or a bulky. It makes finding those loops a little bit easier. So before we can really jump in, we have to understand the anatomy of the half double crochet stitch so that we know where to insert our hook. This braided effect that you see is actually the top of your half double crochet stitches. So it's those V's that we create that we are seeing here. So from the front, you have your 3 loops here, and that's how you can identify your half double crochet. And this is called the post of your stitch. On the top part, we have our V's, and that is where we would normally insert our hook to create a stitch. On the inside, you will see that there is a third loop. It almost looks like a second set of V's. And we're going to work our stitch just into that single loop. If you're using a chunkier yarn, you may notice this tiny little loop here a lot more. And it may be kind of tempting to try to work into that, but it will actually be a little bit difficult to do so. And if you find that you are fighting working into the stitch, you're probably looking for the wrong thing. So we're going to look for 1. So here we have 1, 2, third loop. Okay, and we're just going to work our half double crochet like we normally would into that loop. So let's get started finally. I know. So yarn over, find 1, 2, third loop, and then complete your half double crochet as usual. Yarn over, 1, 2, third loop. You should only be working into 1 loop, not 2 like you normally would. Again, yarn over, 1, 2, third loop. And it is really that simple, and you can just continue this all the way around. And I'm actually going to finish this round and meet you back at the beginning because I want to show you what it looks like at the start of the round. Okay, so we're to the end of our round, and we are going to join as we normally would, inserting our hook into the stitch and creating a slip stitch, and I chain 1 for a half double crochet. So because we've worked into that stitch, it's a little tighter. Your first stitch in the round is always a little smaller than the others. That is the part that makes it a little bit difficult sometimes to find that third loop. It's kind of hiding off to the side here. So 1, 2, and if you rotate in, you may have to fish a little, but there is your third loop. And if you're not sure if you've grabbed the right one, you'll be able to see immediately if the top part of your V is showing. And then you will just continue on as usual. And something that you'll also find as you go along your row or your round, it becomes a little easier to find that third loop because your fabric is rotating down. It's showing you that third loop a little easier. And it is that simple. So I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. And if you have any questions or anything that I can clear up for you, please let me know. Thanks.